U.S. President Barack Obama is renewing his push for an increase on the federal minimum wage. He spoke in Washington just as a pair of new Walmart stores opened here in the nation's capital. Our White House correspondent Jessica Stone has more on Obama's latest call to action on inequality among Americans.
It's not only a nuclear Iran or a spreading Syrian civil war that the U.S. sees as a foreign policy threat. U.S. President Barack Obama says it's also American income inequality.
The combined trends of increased inequality and decreasing mobility pose a fundamental threat to the American dream, our way of life, and what we stand for around the globe.
It's really worse than it's ever been, and it's worse than most of our neighbors.
According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the United States now has the highest income inequality of the world's major 7 economies, spread across Europe, Asia, and the Americas.
I would mention 3 things. The decline in the minimum wage, that's the sort of basic standard. It hasn't kept up with inflation or the cost of living. The decline in unionization, workers' rights to join a union without retaliation. I also think globalization and trade has been a tremendous issue here.
With no federal minimum wage increase in the past 4 years, states are now taking the lead to increase pay. Since 2012, 12 states in the United States have raised their minimum wage by as much as $2.75 an hour. And even though Washington, D.C. rejected a measure to force big box stores like Walmart to pay $4 more per hour than the minimum wage, the city's council endorsed a wage increase to $11.50 an hour within 3 years, just as the city's newest Walmart stores opened their doors.
Research shows it raises incomes for low-wage workers and boosts short-term economic growth.
President Obama has recently backed raising the federal minimum wage to $10.10 per hour, but in the meantime, he's calling for immigration reform, debt relief for college students, and quality preschool for American children. Economic researcher Sean Fremstad suggests a good model to look to reduce income inequality might be Nordic countries like Sweden, where all children can attend preschool by age 1.
And so you see tremendous investment in the skills of the workforce. You see a stronger safety net because they don't want people to fall too far. But there's also a lot of work on getting people back into the labor force and reintegrating.
U.S. President Barack Obama proscribed a host of policy changes to cut the nation's rising income inequality. But until members of both political parties make this a campaign issue, it's unlikely to move too far. The next test the parties will face comes before the end of this year, when the U.S. Congress votes on extending short-term unemployment benefits to the long-term unemployed, a factor in income inequality. Jessica Stone, CCTV, Washington.